This is a demonstration on how to fix a blend shape problem, which is the input order problem. The problem is if I go into blend shapes and I adjust the slider, you see it pulls the character off of the skeleton, and that is due to the input order being incorrect. When you create blend shapes in the blend shape options, under advanced, you'll see it says deformation order front of chain. That is the default, and that's where it should be. And conceptually, what that means is that when it's calculating the various deformations, a blend shape is a deformation and the bound skeleton is another deformation, that it has to do them in a certain order. It does one and then the next and the next. And what you want to do is to do the blend shape first and then be moved by the skeleton, because if it does it the other way around, the skeleton moves it and then the blend shape moves it, and that's where it kind of moves to where the blend shape is. So you can find this in the inputs. So, but this one had an additional issue, which is that there's this extra history on here, and it's very concerning because you really shouldn't do any modifications to the model after it's bound, and it looks like some edges were deleted, which is not good. Now, it is possible to remove those steps, and the way to do that is if you go on the attribute editor, and let's find, so here's a delete edge, so I'm going to click on that tab. You see tabs with all the names of the things in the history, and then I hit the select button, and then you can hit the delete button and go one by one with those tabs and get rid of them. But what I found is that that actually wasn't necessary. What I was able to do is to select this, and sometimes this will work and sometimes it won't. This time it worked. Edit, delete by type, non-deformer history, and you'll see it'll get rid of everything but the deformers, and they always have a tweak node on there. So the blend shape and the skin cluster. So it works okay, fortunately. But you do have to do that step before you fix the input order. So now I click here on the inputs button, and notice these things like these can be expanded and contracted. So if you don't see that, it might be contracted there. So select the surface, click here, go down to all inputs, and you read this from the bottom up. So first it's doing the skin cluster, then it's doing the blend shape, and we just middle mouse click here, drag it so that the dotted line is underneath there, and now it's correct. So if we test it, it will work for the body, but we do need to do that for the other things that are bound to the skeleton. But just quick, so you see that the body seems to be okay, but the rest of the skeleton is moving. So I believe you have to do this one surface at a time. Whoops, I'm trying to get that other eyebrow without having to. There we go. And the tie. And okay, so as far as I can tell, they seem to be working now. So that's the input order fix for that problem with the blend shape.